I do.
Well, I may mute it if I
I like the lights.
The lights?
Yeah, they're cool.
Just basic fluorescent. Oh, those lights.
No, I was talking about the fluorescent.
Yeah, the fluorescent light. I'm like, you've never seen fluorescent lights before?
Yeah, the vibe is
Oh,
really
yeah. The
beautiful.
fluorescent.
Does
Just
that
what's happening? You're getting a cough and you're getting a not feeling well because you're leaving us. Aw.
Okay.
yeah. His body's rejecting
body is
the
rejecting
leaving
the
of
idea
St.
of leaving.
Peter's.
Yes, that's it.
Right.
Because once you sing We Are St. Peter's, you're St. Peter's for life.
Forever, yeah.
Yes. You're
I'll
in
miss
it.
that.
Yeah.
Don't lie. You're still in church, even in the portable.
I'll miss y'all.
Yeah.
That is a fair statement.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Next Day podcast.
The next day on your discipleship journey.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Christy.
And we are joined by...
Elizabeth.
Yay! And by...
And Morris.
This is last time.
On my last day.
I don't know. We might somehow find some ways to get you back on, but
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
what
the
you do.
plan.
You could be our first international interview and
Hey,
guest.
If we don't start seeing a listener from Hong Kong,
From Hong
then
Kong,
we're
you'll
gonna
know. With
Yeah.
that 13-hour time difference.
Hey, you can look. That's the beauty. We're not saying we're live.
Yeah.
Except when we were in the pumpkin patch, we said we're live at the pumpkin
It'll
patch,
be the
even though
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be even stranger. Yeah, in Hong Kong, the next day would be almost 2 days. I don't know. I don't want to confuse myself. Well, welcome everyone to the Next Day podcast, where it's going to be a little bit different today because typically I would say this is where we're talking about the sermons you got to hear. And I guess we could talk a little bit about sermons, but yesterday wasn't so much about the sermons because yesterday was our Church Without Walls.
It was awesome.
Our CWOW event. This was the third one we've done since I've been at St. Peter's, but post-COVID, the third one for that. And so it went really well, and we're going to be talking a lot about that. That's why Elizabeth is here. She's the mastermind behind all of it.
All right.
It's my once a year appearance on the podcast.
Really? Just once a year? Oh, we got to get you more often. Yeah. No, you made a brief appearance, I think, 2 weeks ago because you brought Morris his smoothie. And I was like, well, hey, and it was funny because you came in, we're just in our room and we're just doing audio. And then you come in and you're ducking down low. And it's like, you don't want the camera to see you. And I'm like, we're not recording video. Like, what are you doing? But somehow you ducking down is more quiet and like you're sneaking.
Make it quieter. Don't you know that's how that works?
Sure. Yeah.
But the smoothie was good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just what he needed. And that was a very silly episode too. So anyways, we're going to be talking about CWOW. We'll talk a little bit about Morris's last goodbye to the congregation as well. But first, we got to get to our icebreaker. So Christy actually says she has one for us today. And she says it's going to open up so much conversations and you're going to know about all of us way more because of it.
I didn't say that. I felt like it was kind of this came up in a text message with a friend the other day, randomly. Okay. And I thought it was such an interesting question. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
At the edge of my seat.
Would you rather
my
meet your past self or your future self?
Is it like, okay, this is where people start asking questions like, well, can I alter the future if I talk to my past self and all this?
I don't know. You decide.
I think I would like to talk to my past self.
Is any specific age?
I don't know. When did I get in trouble? And I want to go back and say, hey, don't do that, no matter how fun it looks. Oh, okay. Thanks, future Chad. That's how it would play out. And I don't know. Maybe during college or out of college, Chad, and just I don't know. I think I would just try to share like what I've been up to as future Chad, and then I don't know, hey, don't worry, things are going to be great, and yeah, be hopeful like that.
Okay.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, I think I would want to talk to my future self, because I'm turning 70 this year,
Woo.
and yeah, and I think about the things that I can do now, and I wonder how much longer I'll be able to do them. And I, have members of my extended family that they're getting to be in their 80s and their 90s, and I'm like, what is that gonna be like? I mean, am I gonna survive that long? So I guess this is more about issues of mortality and and really the grief that comes with what you have to start letting go of in your life. That's almost kind of a serious answer, isn't it?
Yeah, no, see, this is what I said. It's an introspective question.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'd want to talk to my future self and kind of find out, how I will navigate the days that are ahead.
That
What about
sounds like
you?
spoilers to
When
me.
you-
So
Yeah, when you started in on it, I was like, well, mine might get also serious here. So I'll try not to be too morbid. If I went past,
Yeah.
I might have different ways that I went about things before my parents,
Mhm.
passed and talk to myself about and wish. Probably my biggest regret is they didn't ever get to really be around their grandkids.
Mhm.
So I'm trying not to cry now. So that's, that's one of those big regrets that I'll always have.
When you can't control.
No, I can't, but so that's why I was like, maybe I could have done more ahead of time,
Yeah.
I remember, not to be morbid, because I'm gonna try to make it funny. Well, because it was just funny what my mom said to me when she knew it was, she only had a set amount of time. You need to get busy I need a grandbaby, because I was the baby, and I'm like, Mom, I'm doing this as fast as I can. God's in control of this one. Anyway,
Yeah. Always. Oh.
I'm sorry. I told you it was a bit.
No, it's one of those questions. I really opened this
note
up.
to self: don't ask Elizabeth on anymore.
Real.
No, I'm kidding.
To get real.
It is.
I mean, we're a church. Yeah, I think that's a hard question for me, but I think like when I had asked my friend this question and she was like, I think I would want to meet my future self because I haven't met her yet. And I was like, I don't know. It just, I kind of like it's the curiosity about it. It's like, what is future self like? You could meet future self and be like, oh my gosh, I need to change things for myself right now because it could be a wake up call. Or it could be like future self is like, hey, it's all going to be fine, and then you have that comfort of it's going to be okay. But
See, I'd be scared that future self is just in a horrible place. Nothing's going right. And then they see me from the past and they go, you did this to me. You did this. And then, yeah.
Oh, now you made me think of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
yes.
For real, like seeing your future self.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, there you go, guys.
Yeah, very
Wow.
good. Very in-depth.
It's a great question.
It is. It's an interesting one. So, yeah, so I wonder what our listeners are thinking.
I know. Email
Call
us.
in and
Call in. Yeah. Let us know what
1-800-FUTURE. Sorry.
hey, we have people email us all the time and they tell us that they like the fish sandwiches I recommend. And
Arby's. Again with the Arby's.
yes.
The Arby's.
Hey,
I remember being
Arby's.
very
When you
good.
need a
Future self.
sandwich, go to
your
Arby's.
future self is like,
You only
eat
got
less
like 2
Arby's.
weeks
Yeah, that's Arby's.
It's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Arby's.
Arby's.
What, 3 weeks left to get it?
I know. And those commercials are on all the time. And I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm like, I want that. So,
Yeah.
but we're not here to talk about Arby's, are we?
We are not.
But no, we are here to talk about CWOW, Church Without Walls. This has been a long tradition at St. Peter's, and in recent years, we've tried to bring it back to make it more annual. And this is just a time where on this Sunday, it's not your typical worship service. We will have a commissioning service, a little short service with some songs and a devotional. But then the main purpose of that Sunday morning is to go outside the church walls, or if you are inside the church walls, you're still helping ministries
That's right.
outside the church wall. Yeah, it's confusing. But you're still serving all our ministry partners, nonprofits in the area. Some people maybe just helping out families that they just knew were in need of help. There's a variety of projects and all that. So where do we want to begin? What all projects do we have, Elizabeth, that you could share the list? And this was done at both Kingsland and
Yes.
West Campus. So there's a lot of projects being done and a lot of work being done.
I mean, both campuses, as you know, did like Clothed by Faith, where you sorted clothes.
That's where I was.
Yes. And on campus, we had that. We did rice and beans for the food pantries and some homeless bags to take to Hope Impacts. We also did cards, and the kids did stuff down in the children's area, placemats. We had our prison ministry there doing work. There was Easter. They were doing crosses and cards, I think, Michelle and them were. And then, of course, Christy was gardening.
Yes.
Just at her house. She was
Yes.
gardening.
Fam. We had painting going on at Christ Clinic. And then we also had some repair work going on at a home. They were doing some drywall work and stuff like that. So
that was at someone's home, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like, yeah, because most of these other ones are helping out these
that one
organizations
was
and
with Be
ministries.
Response. So that
Oh,
was an
okay.
organization that we work with here. And so it was a group of people that Jeff Campbell had out there
Yeah.
doing drywall and such. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the gist. And you
And then-
visited some of the
I
outlying
did.
rooms.
I did. Went out to see where they were doing the gardening. That garden is amazing.
Yeah.
Can
it's
you, what's it
incredible.
called? What's the garden called?
No, Shamba Ya Amani.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I always like to see what other
To
people,
see
because
other people
Christy
can-
loves to just
Yeah.
say it like she's so smart.
Rolls off her tongue.
Yeah.
Swahili. It's the only Swahili phrase. I know that and Pamoja, and both of them are programs with FAM.
Oh yeah, they
The
are.
only reason I know anything in Swahili.
Because explain again like what FAM Houston is.
So they are an organization that creates empowered community for resettled immigrants, specifically those from areas like Congolese and sort of the surrounding areas there. So the primary language is Swahili of a lot of these refugees that come to America and into Houston. And so a lot of times, apparently, with like, they're not an agency, they're not an immigration or a resettlement agency, but they work with the agencies,
Yeah.
to kind of be able to help, receive these. A lot of them are just women. Oftentimes, the men will stay behind to, try and continue to make money and just try to give their family a better life. And so a lot of times that's what you find is you have women and children just coming and living here on their own. And so this gives them, community. A lot of times they're resettled with the same people who speak the same language and stuff. And so there's a women's empowerment group that meets weekly at the Gethsemane campus of St. Luke's. And that's where a lot of these women get, by word of mouth, get plugged in to FAM, which is the women's empowerment group is part of FAM. But FAM started this garden, Shamba Ya Amani, when they began to notice that they would come and they would make like deliveries of like food and stuff to their apartments, and they noticed that these women were growing things like in any like tiny little plot of land they could find. It could be like the size of a paver, 12-inch by 12-inch paver, and they were planting seeds and growing things. And so they started to dream like what could happen if we could get them, we could get land and give them like a place of belonging and a place where they can, grow. These things are important to their culture and teach us about, their farming, techniques and all of that, because they are very conscious of the land and giving back to the land and living in harmony with it in a very different way than we know it in our Western world. So that's where the farm came from. And, they dreamed big, and then God did big things. And
there's a variety of plants out there and different
yeah.
things, because we helped out there last summer with our junior high students. And in fact, some of if y'all use wheelbarrows, chances are those are the ones we bought for them. And
yeah, we did use some blue wheelbarrows that were from you guys. So
yeah.
But yeah, they plant produce that is like not native to clearly not native to our to Texas, but also like stuff that you probably don't see very often in like your regular grocery stores. But these are like a lot of times seeds that they brought with them, which I just think is so cool. Like
Yeah.
that's actually a very timeless tradition of like bringing seeds from your homeland with you when you travel, when you go, and then planting those seeds in your new home. And so there's lots of
I
like
guess our soil and climate and everything's fine with
you know
it.
what's interesting,
it.
I have not heard of anything that's like that they're not able to grow out, you know, out here. And it depends on the season. So it's like maybe if it was in one season or like always seasonably appropriate, where they come from, maybe like it's only available, you know, at a certain season here. I don't really know, but they grow so many things. They feed their families with it. You know, some are able to sell them and make a little extra income and stuff like that. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Jenny was showing me some of the raised beds that had just been built like a week before,
Yeah.
and some seeds were planted just the week before, and you could already see that they were already sprouting and growing, and
Yeah.
and it's an amazing place. It was cool to get to see it and the work that y'all had done.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. It was very cool.
So that was one of many projects, right? And I know one project we didn't mention was also the choir, and like
Yes,
our
they
youth
went out.
choir and
Yep,
others, they
they were
go
out
around to
singing.
different facilities and they sing, and that's always cool to hear. And
We had the care
see.
team doing cards. There was Smocks for Life cutting out patterns. There
Yeah.
was other Ballard. They were doing things for the Ballard House. So it's really a great, just the whole day. Besides just being able to serve outside of the church, but it shows all the different missions that we are involved in for everyone to see.
You know what I love is like it kind of gives me this feeling of like camp, of like you would have this morning like assembly and a morning devotional,
Right.
but then it's kind of like, all right, here are your options. Go out and do your options. Then everyone kind of picks which one they caters to them more, or one that they like more, or they're capable of. So like, yeah, some people going out, well, I want to go do the drywall. I want to go out and cut stuff and do all this. I want to work with my hands and do that. And other people are like, oh, I want to go out and garden, or I want to go assemble these kits. And I don't know. I just kind of like that idea of like everyone just scatters and goes and does stuff, and then we're all working together. Now I will say some of the projects ended like in like 5 minutes. I think it's amazing at how many pounds of rice and beans were there for the food pantry. Like
300, I think.
300 pounds
Each. Yeah.
each,
So they
so
were
600 pounds of food. And it gets bagged in like, I swear it seems like 10 minutes.
Well,
Like
there's
it
so
gets,
many
it's
people
so,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It-
Beverly was telling me that there was kids racing, so she had to slow them down.
Yeah,
Like,
it is,
Many
I heard that.
hands.
They said they were telling us to slow down.
but it's just
Hands
so,
make like work. That's
Yeah.
what they
yeah,
say.
it's just
Whitney
so
was in there
fascinating how
cooking.
fast it goes, because I know we've done this with students where we're assembling 10,000 meals, and it sounds like a lot, but once you get going, it's like, oh dang, like we're almost done, and it's like not even an hour yet.
It's
Like,
amazing when a lot of hands are able to
Yeah.
start working on something, how
Many
quick it goes.
hands.
Many hands.
yeah,
yes.
many hands.
Yeah.
And
Go
so
ahead,
that was what happened with our Clothed by Faith. So this is a third year. Now we help out with Clothed by Faith quite often with our students. Now normally we'll get maybe 15 at the most. I think sometimes we'll get 20 bags, and these are just bags that people donate to Clothed by Faith. And just setting this up, right, Clothed by Faith is one of our long-term ministry partners, and they serve all around the Houston area. They serve so many different organizations for a variety of different needs. I've been to some other, like I went to that luncheon thing the other week for Her Well, and it's a ministry and an organization that helps people going through domestic violence situations and sexual assault situations. And it's interesting hearing them bring that up, and they say, "Oh yeah, we partner with Clothed by Faith." And I'm like, "Yay!" Like Clothed by Faith, I know
Yeah.
them. Where my wife now works partners with the Clothed by Faith and all these other places. Like, so it's just they serve people all around the Houston area. And this is a fun stat that they shared with us, was each kind of they form these little bags of clothes to give people, and each one could maybe roughly cost around $300 something, like if you were to buy it new and all this.
Wow.
And they have given, just last year they have given away over $6 million worth of clothing.
Wow.
Like,
That's amazing.
and like a lot of it is for children and a lot of it's, but it's just so interesting. But so what we do is they get all these donations in these trash bags. We're the first ones to look at what's in it. Like Clothed by Faith hasn't looked through it yet. So then we grab all these. So we were able to do, I don't know, 3 or 4 carloads, whatever fits in a bed of a truck in the back of a van. For Kingsland, I know for West Campus, we just filled up Ethan's truck, and so brought that over here. But for ours over at Kingsland, we had this massive amount of clothes, but we had so many people working on it. We were able to start like we didn't really touch the clothes till about 10. Wait, when did we start? Like 9:30 till about closer to 10, but we finished around 11:30, and just had a few other smaller things leaning towards noon, but the most of it was done by 11:30, and it's just
I think some
amazing.
of the rice people came over and helped.
Oh yeah, they were coming over going,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, we
done.
finished, yeah.
And I'm like, we're just getting started. Come on, we
Yeah,
need
remember
you.
that first year you had so much stuff
Yeah, we
ran
bit
out of
off more than
time.
we could chew on
Yeah.
that first year.
It was a massive project. I mean, I was walking by the building and the door was open, and I went, "Oh, there's something else going on in here." So I walked in, and I mean, they were all over the Wesley Center.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in every room, and you know, it was chaotic, but it was kind of orderly chaos. You
Oh yeah.
know? And it's like
It
people.
really is. I'm imagining if you're looking down at an ant bed and you're seeing them going around, you're like, man, they don't know what they're doing. They're just going crazy. That's what it looked like. We're just
Yeah.
moving clothes
Oh,
from
it
this
was
pile to this
amazing.
pile to there, here, and oh, there's label. Oh, here's this. It's just constant moving around.
It was very impressive.
Yeah, and it's fun because again, I try to tell people like, y'all, this is a good project for even little kids because
Mhm.
they are the ones who will grab this pile and move it to this room, and they'll get a wagon, they'll move clothes from here to here, and it's just like it's just constant. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. We had music going, we were just folding, and also people just loved looking at the different things that are donated because there's just random T-shirts and random other stuff. So it's just kind of fun to kind of look through some of that too. But yeah, but I'm really glad we were able to help and deliver all that back to them. And West Campus had a good success with theirs too. They could probably do more next year. I think they realized they could get more truckloads and all that. But yeah, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what other ones did you go see?
So
Morris?
yeah, it was funny because we talk about the clothing and just what an amazing project that was, how chaotic it was, the noise, people moving around, and then I contrast that with when I went upstairs to the folks writing the letters
Yeah.
for
That's
Kairos.
quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I walked in, it was like people were taking final exams kind of thing. I mean, really, nobody was talking. And what
You
they,
walked in and said, "Hey, everybody!" Shh.
yeah, it was almost like that. And it's because they're writing the letters
Yeah.
to the inmates, and they were taking it very seriously.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what was explained to me is that these guys who get them, they'll all compare the letters. And so they want to be sure that every letter is written really, really well.
Yeah.
And people were taking it very seriously.
Nice.
they
And-
have someone from Kairos come and talk to them and did a presentation beforehand.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it was
Is it-
quite the contrast.
Guy is
It wasn't him. He had
okay.
someone
So
from there.
someone came to
Yes.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
He
it
had a
was
challenge.
impressive.
Kairos is near and dear to my heart. My parents did Kairos for like,
Mm.
I don't know, 20, 30 years. Like, I mean, I grew up knowing about Kairos and writing, watching my dad write the letters and doing the little prayer chains and having people sign, I would take it to school, be like, oh, you just put your name or like your initials. You don't have to put anything, because people would be like, we're giving this to prisoners. Like, I don't want to put my information here. It's like, it's just to let them know that you're a real person who's actually praying
Yeah.
for them,
Awesome.
So it's cool. It's such an amazing ministry.
I also was impressed by the one with the smocks.
Yes.
I mean, it's a cool story how it came to be.
Yeah.
The woman who
Yes.
lost her mom, and
Amy, yes.
yeah, and she started this ministry many years
Her
ago.
mom did, yes.
And with them, when her mom passed, she said, "Now you got to keep this going," which she's said she was happy to do it. And it was just, yeah, the work that they were doing as they were cutting and laying out and all that to make the things. It was very cool.
And apparently, yeah, I was talking with Amy yesterday about it all. They delivered to MD Anderson West because, and it's constant, but they just couldn't keep up with the ones for down at the main
Yeah.
hospital. But
Mhm.
it is definitely it's a
Because what do you know? What can you share about smocks for like what purpose are they filling? Like what are they doing?
interesting because I asked her to explain it all to me yesterday because
Oh,
I
yeah?
really hadn't, but it's like this that it's a jacket without sleeves and it has pockets and it's Velcro so they can cover where they could put things in the pocket
It's
for
a
when
smock. Yeah.
they're getting treatments. So
Yeah,
when they're
and
going
it's
through
for
their
breast cancer
Right.
for any
treatment.
it's for
Or any cancer.
yes.
Oh, okay.
It's not
But it's a kind of a place or an option, something to give to these people and
people, yeah,
women,
women
but
and
like
men.
women and men. But I think initially started
Yes.
because of just being able to feel like you're covered
Yeah.
and you're not just like in this hospital room
Yes.
exposed and like just giving a little like sense of dignity, but also being like covered by something that has been prayed over and just like just the way that that's able to like physically surround you is just
Mhm.
very powerful.
And apparently it is I don't know if it's trademarked, but it is unique. Like I think it might even be trademarked, some sort of, because we're the only ones who do it. So,
Yeah. No, and that's they've been one of our ministry shout outs on here before, and I remember we even read a letter that someone wrote that was going through treatment and they received it. And that's the thing, like I'm always so fascinated by the Holy Spirit has been at work where little details like that come to life, and it's like things that you may not realize is a need, but somebody out there feels this calling going, we need to help with this. And it's a very specific thing because Smokes for Life isn't about curing cancer, right? I mean,
making them comfortable.
as wonderful as that would be, but that's not the purpose, is not to cure. It's about, well, we know people are hurting and people are going through treatments. What can we do to help them? What's the need? And I just love that. I know Clothed by Faith has done that. I mean, FAM found this like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, there's a need here for people who are refugees. There's people
Right.
who are, for people from other parts of the world, like, what can we do? And I'm always just so fascinated hearing stories and how they came about. And because there's so many things I'm like, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, like compassion is so multifaceted,
Yeah.
and that's like the spirit is multifaceted. And, this is one way that we display that compassion and that love of Christ is through all of these little things that like pick up on the details, the things that are important. I love, did they cook yesterday? Mercy meals? Yeah. Right. Like that kind of thing. That's one of those like detail things
Yeah.
that you're like, okay, someone's going through some kind of treatment or, just really in a tough spot in their life. It's like one of these, I don't know why it is, this is a church thing, but one of the natural responses is like, can I bring you food? Right? Like
Food is love.
food
Yeah.
is love. It's like, like I can't cure what's going on, but I can do something. And, I just want to cook for you. I just want to feed you. And it's like, just taking one thing off of that person's plate. And that's attention to detail. Like you're going through this. And if I were going through something like this, I don't think I would want to have to come home and be like, what am I cooking for my family? Or,
Yeah.
to have to worry about that, or to like have to spend money on, getting food from a restaurant. This is like just this, one way of extending that kind of compassion to people. I
And
think
it
it's
helps
lovely.
for it to be organized. Like I'm sure Mercy Meals is organized because when there's not something in place, then that family's being bombarded with everybody bringing food to them. Now they have too much food.
It's like I have 10 chickens in my
I know.
my refrigerator.
We had a student, this is another church I was at, but he was a junior high student and his dad passed away. And so I remember going over to his house to visit them, and man, do they have food everywhere. And he was just more confused about going, why does everyone keep bringing us food? Like, and we try to explain to him, like, just what y'all say, like, people want to help and they want to do this. He's like, well, we have too much. I'm like, maybe there is a way to organize this so y'all aren't so overwhelmed and you can't say no to somebody, right? But I do love. There's also a comedian, and he was saying that now he was saying he was Baptist because I guess this is cross-denominational. Like,
Oh yeah.
but he was just saying, yeah, you give us some fried chicken, some casseroles, we can have ourselves a funeral. And so it's just kind of like, yeah, like I mean,
I,
there's so many needs.
I don't get the connection though between funerals and pimento cheese though.
Yeah,
I
I guess
don't.
that.
I have a friend who, when he was pastor in a small town, he said he always knows when somebody's about to die because he sees
Oh
all the
no.
pimento cheese getting bought up at the store.
I was talking with someone from Grace and Grief ministry,
Mhm.
and I was talking with them, and I was just like, is it sad that like I really love the punch, but like I hate waiting for a funeral to get that punch.
I do
Like,
love that punch.
Punch.
yeah, like it's like I really like it, but
It's
I don't.
good.
It feels weird for me to. I'm not looking forward to a funeral, but like at least I get some punch.
Oh, the punch is gonna be
Yeah,
there.
the
Oh.
punch.
Always have to do our taste test of the funeral punch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's really, I think, coming back to CWOW and just like these ministries, like, Clothed by Faith and Mercy Meals and Smocks for Life, like all the, a bunch of these things we've mentioned, they don't wait for CWOW.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Um,
good point.
like this is something that like, you can find somewhere during the week on campus, women, or men too. I don't know. I'm typecasting here because I know a bunch of ladies that do the Smocks for Life thing, but maybe there's men too. But people that are up in a classroom somewhere cutting out these patterns, and you'll find people in the kitchen cooking weekly for Mercy Meals, and the students are always like, I don't know, almost on a weekly basis, like sorting clothes for Clothed by Faith. Like these kinds of ministries and like missions are happening. And so we do get that question a lot, like, why don't we do CWOW more than once a year? And I'm like, it's a huge undertaking. And it would, it's like, it would be great to be able to organize something, on this large of a scale, more than once a year. But these mission opportunities are always there. Like
Yes.
you don't have to wait for CWOW. You and your family can serve, you and your Sunday school class can serve.
I almost feel like this is almost like a ministry fair,
Yes.
a showcase
It
of
is.
here are these things. Now, yes, we're
A
doing all
sampling
this
even.
at once,
Mhm.
but now go out there and if y'all enjoy it, hopefully you got to try something like
Mhm.
y'all keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think like this is a block of time that we're like, okay, you would naturally, hopefully, already have it in your calendar, in your schedule of coming to church, right? And like coming to worship on a Sunday morning. So we're using that block of time that you've already carved into your life to say, okay, we're gonna go serve. But you can block out other times, like even if we're having worship on a Sunday as per usual, you can go serve on a Saturday. You can serve on some afternoon. You can,
Mhm.
Throughout the summer, there's opportunities to serve within and outside of the walls. I know there's people like VBS is coming up, in just a few short months, a
Yeah.
couple short months. It's just crazy. But I know one couple that they take vacation every year to do VBS, and then there's another one who changed. I know he changed his vacation like schedule to be able to come and like serve at VBS. Like you can do it. You can
Yeah.
like put this in your schedule without the church not having traditional church services and then like sending you out. And I think that was a cool thing yesterday out at the farm. There were several of the people there that were asking Jenny, who works with FAM, they're like, what are the regular hours? Like when can we come and just come out here? And like, I would love to come back with like, more people. And like, one of the women that was there with her 8-year-old son, but she was like, oh, our whole family could come out here. And it was just cool to see that kind of engagement. And I'm sure that was happening with a lot of these other projects, which is, that's the hope.
And I think the larger point here, I think what you said is really important. And the larger point is that, I mean, this is the heart of who we're called to be as a church.
Mm-hmm.
I once heard a church consultant who he comes into these churches that they've become so dysfunctional that they can't really even,
Oh yeah.
work anymore. And what he says when he goes into those churches, 100% of the time, these churches have all become inwardly focused.
Mm-hmm.
100% of the time. And it's when we keep ourselves as the church outwardly focused on reaching out with the good news of the gospel, of understanding our community and asking, how can we serve in the name of Christ? When we keep our eyes on that, that's when we're being the church.
Yeah.
That's when we're doing what we're called to do as the church. So, and CWOW is an opportunity to showcase all that and remind us, oh yeah, this is who we are. This is what we're supposed to be about. So yeah, I thought it was an awesome thing, and it was cool to kind of be able to get a taste of it. And
Yeah.
see
No,
what was
and it's
going on.
cool to think about, and y'all could try to remind me of some of them, but like I was trying to think of like the least of these, and like, do we cover some of those? Like,
Oh,
we
right,
did
right.
clothing.
The
If you're naked,
Beatitudes,
we
yeah.
did
Hungry,
feeding
naked,
people.
in prison.
Prison, those who
Sick.
were sick, we did the smocks, and there's people went to go to sing at the assisted living facilities and all that, and
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to think of, man, did we cover all that? Is there something we were missing? And the same thing with John Wesley and all they regularly routinely did was visiting prisons and visiting and just doing all these things. So I was like, well, I hope we covered all our bases and like we're able to go out there and just help.
Yeah.
But just like y'all said, like this does not need to end. This is not just a one time a year thing. I know Clothed by Faith is always needing help. All these ministries are always needing help. So set aside some holy time, make it a special set apart from the rest of your regular routine to serve more often and to care for others and to put yourself second and to go out there. And it's just a wonderful experience and just helps. And I know some people, they say that's when they really experience God. It's not so much in worship service and all that. Sometimes they really get it more from serving. So
Yeah, and I think an important thing too, you know, I was reflecting on this. There were a lot of kids at the farm, which was really cool. And I'm sure there were kids like, you know, just serving, you know, with their families and just in all sorts of capacities. But I'm like, I think it's amazing for our kids to participate and like serving alongside us, you know, in other adults, all, you know, doing all of these different things and understanding what they're doing and, you know, why it's important. But the last thing I want to do is teach our kids that we only do this once a year.
yeah.
Right.
You know, like, oh, it's so good to serve and we save it for just one Sunday a year. You know, I'm like, we've got to be better about teaching our kids what the life of servanthood looks like, because it doesn't just look like one Sunday a year. It looks like, you know, it needs to be like this all throughout the year, all the time.
And that's what inspired me for like what we do at midweek with students is, because it really would be. And I've been at plenty of churches where I was part of this too, where it's just like, we only serve in the summer. Like Army is the only time we serve.
Yeah.
And then maybe there'll be something throughout the year. But I've been like, you know, what would it look like if we did serve weekly? Now it's hard to get students to meet out into different places out. So we try to do what we can at the church, but we found a variety of ways to do it. And some students, they say they come for that reason.
Yeah.
And it's not even to get service hours, believe it or not. They just really love coming and just being a part of that. And they get to play game and have pizza too. So
it's a win-win-win.
It is. That's really wonderful. All right, so that was CWOW. Y'all could find some pictures on our social media and all that here soon. So if you missed out, and also just be looking forward to other. Oh wait, next Sunday.
Yes, this coming Sunday.
This Sunday,
April 6th.
which is next Sunday, right?
Whatever.
this
This next Sunday, April 6th.
Wow.
April 6th.
Yeah, we're having our ice cream social right after church.
Yes.
It's at both campuses, so please just stay after for a few minutes, and there'll be pictures and celebration of just seeing what all we did yesterday to celebrate that.
And it's going to be a special Sunday because not only is there that, but it's also Senior Sunday. So come and celebrate all our seniors and they're graduating from high school. But then stay for some ice cream and celebrate CWOW. So it's just a whole.
It's also a special Sunday.
And
because
Pat is back,
coming
y'all.
back.
The ice cream is not for Pat necessarily.
We're
but
not going to have sugar-free ice cream for him. What was that?
Oh, never mind. I'll probably have sugar-free for Pat.
Oh, dang
Yeah,
it.
you got to. You got to.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's going to be exciting. Pat's finished with his sabbatical. Sabbatical, right?
Sabbatical.
That's right.
But, you know, it's also very sad because Morris is leaving us.
Oh,
He's going to a better place.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Hong Kong.
No, that's not for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's August,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's not till August.
Well,
No.
that'll sneak up on you.
But I gotta tell you, it was very and Morris, I know you're a very humble guy and all that, but like it was so cool to see the response to your kind of goodbye at the commissioning service. And I hope you don't think that was definitely not an overreaction. Like it was, you really have come in and your leadership has been great. Your I'm speaking from a staff standpoint. It's just been wonderful of you, just your guidance. You've asked the right questions.
Mm.
You pushed us really hard with some questions. We're like, you know what, we should have an answer for him. And so, but I've known you for a while, but I've never
Right.
worked with you to
Yeah.
this capacity. So I just want to say it's been great having you
I appreciate
as our
that.
interim pastor
Yes, I echo that.
and co-leader or
Yes,
host of the
pod-
podcast. It seems like as you've been on here quite a bit,
think
you may have a record now.
The record.
Yeah.
So, and I've never really podcasted before.
Well, you're
and
great at it.
So I was very intimidated, but y'all made it very comfortable and relaxed. And
Yeah.
We
so,
just have a bunch of fun here.
yeah, you do. And yeah, you make it fun. And
Yeah.
so it's been a great time. And, you never know when you come into a church, kind of how folks are going to receive you and what the spirit of it's going to be and all that. But
Listen here, preacher man.
yeah,
We're not
exactly.
changing
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. And so anyway, but I've loved being with the staff and getting to know y'all and trying to be a little bit helpful and then particularly I've gotten to work with a number of the leaders and they've just been very welcoming and appreciative, acted like they were appreciative of what I was doing and
Acting. Yeah.
so anyway, but I'm excited for St. Peter's. I think y'all are going to have a great time receiving Pat, back again and slapping him on the back for all the great work he's done for all these years.
It's
And
going to be an emotional roller
It is.
coaster.
It
it's like
is.
we got to welcome you in,
Yeah.
and then now we have to say goodbye, and then welcome Pat back,
That's
and then
right.
say
Say
goodbye.
goodbye.
And welcome Preston, and,
Yeah.
and that's going to stick.
Yeah.
Until we were running him off.
Yeah.
Whitney's like, I mean, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
It's just you talk about emotional. We all know
Yeah.
how I'm gonna.
Oh,
be.
I know, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
We gotta give Elizabeth a lot of hugs.
I do want to say I've known Preston a long time. And when, I heard that he was named to be coming here, I just said, that's an amazing appointment. And, what I said to the church council was this is a home run to me. I mean, for St. Peter's, I think that Preston is going to do a great job building on what's been done before and leading you into a new future. And he's got the drive and the personality and the experience and the skills. He's got the spiritual and personal maturity to lead you well. And so I know as a church, you're going to work hard to welcome him, but also to welcome his family. And so that they're going to come in and become a part of this church family and this community really well. So I'm excited for the future. And, and when it all goes well, somehow I'm going to find a way to take credit for it.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So
You're
Yeah.
going to hear about something. That was my idea.
That was my idea.
Me. And the
Yeah.
Preston's going to say, nope, isn't he?
Since
Yeah.
2025.
I'm
Yeah.
joking.
But like some of the seeds that you have planted here, just like at Shamba,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
that are still going to grow. Like
Yeah.
It always goes back to gardening.
the long range planning committee that's going to continue growing and
Yeah.
all that. So hey, we're very thankful, and it was a beautiful last Sunday, I think. For
Yeah.
you.
It was fun. I mean, it actually was. It was a very cool last Sunday. And just actually the service had no idea what to expect in the service. We had what I thought was a pretty good crowd there.
It was a pretty good in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
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 You had a
And
great message.
yeah, I appreciate that. And so anyway, and then going around to all the groups and seeing what was going on. I regret that I didn't get out to West Campus so that I could see what was happening there, but I just took, so much time.
Yeah.
It's a short
That's
time
hard
to
to-
It is
like,
exactly
you're
right.
supposed to make it
Again,
out to the farm.
If
Yeah.
you blink, you missed the rice and beans.
That,
Like,
I didn't even make it to the rice and
Yeah.
beans. By the time I got to Lot, they were cleaned up. Yeah.
So, well, thank you again, Morris. yeah, thank you again, and can't wait to hear for what's happening next with you and all that. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of new things happening here at St. Peter's with a new pastor coming in and all that. We get to meet with them today, and my plan is that we have a very we need to act very dysfunctional and just scare him, like just to see if he's really in this. Like
We have to do that much acting.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Let's just
Podcast.
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's get to our ministry shout out. And other than Senior Sunday, we hope all of y'all are able to come and worship with us at whatever service you come to. We're going to be celebrating seniors, and so we hope y'all could join us for that. But we also wanted to highlight the Keys ministry.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes,
Keys.
we're highlighting Keys. Elizabeth, you can tell us about you because you work with Keys
Yes.
very closely.
They made
Oh yeah.
they're the locksmith organization in our
No.
There are senior adults over 50 that go on trips every month. The county provides the bus for them, and they do different.
It always looks like a prison bus.
I know.
And every time I see it out there, I'm like, what did we do? And I see our church members getting on it. I'm like, what did we do?
Well, I've been on it before to Astros game, but this next month they're going to see Baskerville Theater.
Yeah, I have it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
The Alley Theater, I believe. Is that
Oh,
right?
I don't think it's,
No,
they rarely
it's
go.
at a theater.
It is at a theater.
It
It's
is
like
They're going to go see a play at a theater.
it's
Yes.
Baskerville, but I think it's the comedy. It's a more local,
Okay.
less. So, but no, it's a great community.
But they do also serve together. They recently served at the Houston Food Bank
Yes, they
too.
did. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do try to incorporate some mission and alternate,
Yeah.
but they go on they do something once a month. That's
Yeah.
their goal.
But they're good. Yeah, it's a good group for fellowship and
Yes.
service and just good times to be had. We went to the Astros game last time
Yes.
with them. So it's for 50 plus,
Well, you're
but
not older than 50.
I got to go. They allowed me
She
to
just
go.
can't go on
I
the
like
bus.
to
That's
think-
really the county's rules that they can't. She just couldn't go on the
No,
bus.
I like to think that you put on a
Unless they-
disguise and you went.
Got to go once. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so they have all sorts of stuff happening. So
You never know. Every
you could
month
go-
it's something different.
yeah, every month is something different. Keep up to date on the website and emails and all that. But you can go to stpk.org/events and you can scroll and see any of our Keys events, because the event will have Keys in the title of it,
Yeah.
I believe. So you know that's what it's for.
They
So
do museums. I mean, you
They're
just never know.
tagged as senior adults, so you can look for the senior adults tag on the events, and it'll pull those up. And
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us. You loved this.
My annual appearance.
You did a
Yes.
great job.
she's gonna be back sooner.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
And thank you, Maura.
Oh, I will cry today. You know that. Just have that out there. I cry out.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
a sympathetic crier, so if she's crying, I'll cry.
Yeah. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah,
All right,
really.
anyway.
We're guys. We don't
Yeah.
do that.
I'm too macho.
Yeah, macho.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next week on the Next Day podcast.
See you next time.
Bye.